Hi, Earth people. I am Chinghiz together with you. Today, April 2, 2022. And today I will talk about Malta, a small island in Europe. This country, European Union full member, and starting from 2015 approximately, particular when was revealed Panama Papers. This country come to front before you as people as country where authority acting as gang, very corrupt, linked to schemes of money launderings, and fully linked to İlham Aliyev. İlham Aliyev Muscat gang. Muscat is former Prime Minister of Malta. And result of the together action as gang was assassination of investigative journalist Daphne Caruana Galizia. This woman revealed facts from Panama Papers about Muscat government, their Shembri Mizzi, daytime energy minister Mizzi, Shembri chief of staff of Prime Minister, daytime Muscat, and also Daphne revealed facts about Pilatus Bank, money laundering by these banks, by dual filings of these banks, where as fact was shown by Daphne and Yefimova as employee of Pilatus Bank, payment from İlham Aliyev family, Mehriban Aliyeva, wife, daughters, Leyla Aliyeva, directed by Leyla Aliyeva and by Kemaladin Haydarov, daytime, and remain Minister of Emergency, daytime close for İlham Aliyev and remain by their crimes still there. They own it. İlham Aliyev owned Pilatus Bank. Owner of Pilatus Bank is İlham Aliyev. Okay? And this bank give to Muscat family wife is and the firm Ergant only one payment. There are many payment. Many, no several, more than several. $1 million for start the business. By money laundering, they are all linked to Pilatus Bank, how this bank actually was created by İlham Aliyev and together with Muscat was operating in Malta, and hundred millions, billions of İlham Aliyev money go through this bank together with Kemaladin Haydarov, go to offshores And Sokar operating in Malta, disowned by İlham Aliyev, their monopoly in Azerbaijan, İlham Aliyev dictatorship, they are by words saying Republic of Azerbaijan actually here as monarchy and tyranny of İlham Aliyev, fully monopoly of any sphere now, today, finally, particularly in oil and gas energy sector. And Sokar, state company of Azerbaijan, fully owned by İlham Aliyev. And this Sokar, together with Maltese Muscat, means prime minister, together with Maltese energy ministry, created joint venture together electric gas for supply to Malta gas, mainly LNG gas, liquid. And İlham Aliyev put as head of this electric gas Fenek, who financing, give money to middleman Teuma, who directly give this money to killers, 3 killers, who killed Daphne Caruana Galizia. And there are others, there's crimes, including this go to even someday crime action in Montenegro. Not some concrete criminal action in Montenegro about wind turbine, etc. These all money laundering schemes by İlham Aliyev, Muscat and Co. And during these years after Daphne assassination, Maltese authority of Muscat do anything for distract. First time they take position denial. After that, when this fact push them as undeniable facts. And after that, Muscat resigned, and there was several, 2 or 3 candidates, and Abela was elected by parliament as successor of Muscat. And Abela today current Maltese prime minister. And after that, something start, public inquiry in Parliament of Malta, and this public inquiry revealed very important facts about this assassination. But not officially investigating based on this public inquiry. Before election, leader of opposition party offer do this public inquiry official investigation as base of this official investigation. Abela refused to do that and said this after election can be happen. About new investigation, a grand case, there was fake investigation, particular was, of course, in Platos Bank, entirely, fully ignoring through investigation. And also they did anything for do this fact of assassination, who truly behind Daphne Caruana Galizia assassination. They did anything for hid that. Of course, this İlham Aliyev and Muscat. And thorough investigation will show that, and this crucial, and there are no chance for Maltese authority who behind them downplay this investigation, hid fact of Ilham Aliyev ordered Daphne Caruana Galizia assassination, together with Muscat knowledge and his circle knowledge, and some concrete form even involvement. Chambry, about Fenech already said, and there are other names. Sokar chief in Malta participated, like there even Anar Alizadeh, Sokar foreign affair, Sokar trading call it, this not state, but this main firm which officially taken buying oil from Sokar by very low price and selling to world by world price. And the difference of price is flooding to more than 90%, I can say 95% to Ilham Aliyev pocket, and remaining some part to this Anar Alizadeh and in time Sokar president Rovnak Abdullayev and Anar Alizadeh Sokar Rovnak Abdullayev cousin. Yeah. And small part go to budget. And we also know Anar Alizadeh was financing other assassinations abroad. In Turkey, one criminal was assassinated by Ilham Aliyev or the Lotu Guli. There was assassinated even political opponent of Ilham Aliyev, Bayram Mammadov. This also Sokar job. And in Malta, Daphne. And this gang remain in Malta. And I call Abela. For first I saying, this Ilham Aliyev and the brigades in Banka hid from me information about election day in Malta. Yeah, I have here some website concrete where elections around world by date where will happen around world. I was listed watching. There no was Malta. This starting this website from date which coming, not what happened. Each time I several years using this website. At least I can say 5 years. Each time when I open this site opening in list in page where already election coming, including very near election, and they are even 1-2 years later. I will open page, there not was info about Malta. There was info about Hungary, April 3, about France, about other countries. Yeah, and remember, I under each second, under attack and control, each second, daily, nightly, system terror and torture, each second, fully equipped with brigades in Banka, by banned weapons, by very high-tech devices, much more high-tech than this NSO group, Pegasus project, others. Sonic weapon, electron weapon, these banned weapons against me each second using these weapons. So I under each second control, I fighting by radar, this my radar, this universe unity, they can't break this radar. It's not about Malta. And not only about Ilham Aliyev, about Putin. Who helping Ilham Aliyev? Israel authority for years already, from Netanyahu time. Why? You know my position, my mission for all those people. They are not a place for any tyrannies, dictatorship, criminals, injustices, and who collaborating with Hitler, Putin, also saying, who own is behind this world financial system, is Rothschild and Co. So this, they targeted me, they controlled me, they try to stop me, my mission. I'm not a part of that, in schemes. What I say is truth. And my friend Francis Pontifex, I read his tweet 1 hour ago. He tweeting he will tomorrow visit to Malta. Therefore, I decide today go live, Chinghiz live, and said about that. And I call friend Francis, my friend, you're visiting to Malta. I very good know millennial for 1,000 years. Your relationship is history, particular on Jesus, means religion, Christianity sphere, and you head of Catholic Church of world, visiting to Malta, where authority very corrupt, evil, and these the crimes as I demanding and will anyway, they not have chance by maneuver or by help of others, influential politicians around the world, not have chance avoid justice, my friend. But you visiting there, and I call you meet with Daphne Caruana Galizia sons. They are Matthew, Paul, Andrew. For know about this truth to additional. I saying you truth, and additional listen them too. And finally push them, this Abel and Co. start to investigation and allow international investigators, FBI of United States, European Union have chief prosecutor, her office, and others specialists from EU together, including if needed Interpol too. Investigation should be this forum. And finally, this investigation should reveal what truly happened. Again, Malta, my friend. You tweeting relationship between Catholic Church and Malta have millennial history, millennial years history. And this country fully corrupted by Ilham Aliyev, and you visiting this country, not other. Today is Malta this, one of Ilham Aliyev branch. Ilham Aliyev criminal money branch. Ilham Aliyev criminal gang branch. And you, my friend, shall join me in this case, very crucial case, and demand through investigation on Daphne Caruana Galizia assassination, including their Pilatus Bank investigation, a grant, and others, and also finally and truly fight corruption and money laundering. Do that impossible in Malta. Demand that from Maltese authority. This is crucial. I hope we will seriously take my call and will bring to Malta justice, friend Francis. How I said, otherwise will injustice, friend Francis. Otherwise will injustice. Justice only we can allow this truth. Truth is Daphne Caruana Galizia was assassinated by Ilham Aliyev and Muscat and co. And they should go to jail for this assassination. Otherwise, absolutely and completely unacceptable, my friend. No way, I say. And Maltese people, you should take this fact seriously. Your small country, island, come to one of center of injustice and gang, international gang, one of hub. Think about that seriously. And cost of that on you. How can be and will if you not will demand justice? Justice for Daphne, justice for truth. What's happening with Malta? Hub of international gang, criminals, which allow your politicians, leaders, political leaders, so-called, but actually criminals, Joseph Muscat and co. This is Daphne. She seeks justice. And this about Malta as country, reputation of this country, as state country, European Union member. We should stop. We should stop this gang in Malta and should remove them by true investigation. And this good chance for Prime Minister Abela join. If you will, Abela, try play game with me and others, because behind you, if behind you, Ilham Aliyev Muscat gang, this for you will be very bad. I warn you. Yes, I warn you directly, Prime Minister Abela. No cover up, no heat. Ilham Aliyev Muscat killers. They created gang in Malta using Malta as corruption money laundering hub, one of Ilham Aliyev hub, money laundering hub. And you as head of government shall stop that. Join me, join to my call. I say, now about apartheid regime of Israel. Israel, apartheid regime. They notorious killers for years was Netanyahu, his Mossad heads, others, officials of Israel, who using this apartheid regime also did war crimes in Gaza Strip, in Gaza City, and Eastern Jerusalem too. War crimes. And their case in court, International Criminal Court, should be in other court too, International Court of Justice. We should stop Israel apartheid regime. We shall do that. This moral obligation of humanity, appeasement, ignorance of Israel crimes, war crimes, apartheid regime, injustices for decades. This should be stopped finally. There even one of fact is already very known fact, because this report about apartheid regime of Israel reports by Human Rights Watch, by Amnesty International, by BTSLM, based on correct and true facts, undeniable, and we not will allow any person, any politicians, head of state, government around the world, or others in the parliament, congress, try downplay these facts. Kenneth Roth, Human Rights Watch chief. Quote from New York Times newspaper. Quote, the Israeli army still conducts daily raids in areas nominally run by the Palestinian Authority. Israel still operates a two-tier justice system in the West Bank, this Palestinian territory. Two justice system, two in Palestinian territory. Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi, one for Palestinians and one for Israeli settlers. And Israel occupied this territory, and they are doing buildings, creating buildings, apartments, settlements for settlers. And there are two war. One for Palestinians. Second, so kind, no human. It's shameful, shameful. You remember movie, but we have historical fact. It's not about movie, but movie, good movie from Steven Spielberg, pianist. Judah, Hitler officer asking, Palestinians, if not true, why I each time saying that? Because that's true and it's happening unknowingly using by Israel authority this fact, same method, plus minus same method using against Palestinians, and we shall say that. Fact, there are two justice systems. Same was in Nazi Germany, not one to Jewish and they are Roma too and others, but mainly Jewish nationalities and Roma. No human beings, no, for Hitler. Ghetto, David Starr, second, third kind. But other two, Hitler to Germans, in South Africa, all world was fighting. I was part of that. I can say approximately whole world was fighting and demanding from South Africa, hey, stop, finally stop this apartheid regime. Release Nelson Mandela and others. Give them full right as citizens. Go elections. And this was happening because we all world, all humanity, all nations, countries around the world, absolute majority was joining and demanding, acting as one team and demanding this from South Africa, and this was happened. Botha was resigned, declared come to temporary as transition leader to country head, and this all reform was happening together with me, directly together with me. But now what? What difference? What difference? They are apartheid. They are massacres. War crimes means. And you ignoring that, try ignore that or downplay that. Why? Why? Israel have state, his border, fully back in this country, helping. But this authority come to apartheid regime, more occupation, settlers, dual justice system, apartheid regime. There are killings almost each day, and they call Palestinians as second kind or criminals or terrorists. Terrorists. They not have right resist. If resisting, terrorist. And more financing, more troops, more weapons. And Palestinians even without army, without anything to protect themselves. Seriously, this situation should be changed. And together with me, this possible and should be happening. We should stop Israel apartheid regime. I will read United Nations Human Rights Chief, former Chile President, Mrs. Bachelet. Her report about Israel apartheid regime. You will downplay this, Nancy Pelosi. Human rights situation in the OPT, the Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, and the obligation to ensure accountability and justice. Statement by Michelle Bachelet, United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Human Rights Council 49th session, March 3, 2022. Distinguished President of the Human Rights Council, Excellencies, colleagues and friends, I am pleased to present our report on the item 2, the human rights situation in the occupied Palestinian territory, OPT, including East Jerusalem, and the obligation to ensure accountability and justice. The report addresses issues related to accountability for alleged violations of international human rights law and international humanitarian law committed to relevant actors in the occupied Palestinian territory encompassing West Bank, including East Jerusalem and Gaza. The report also documents action taken against human rights defenders and civil society engaged in documenting violations and advocating accountability. Excellencies, the human rights situation occupied Palestinian territory further deteriorated during the reporting period between November 1st, 2020 and October 31st, 2021. This period was marked by a significant increase in violence, including the largest escalation of hostilities between Israel and Palestinian armed groups in Gaza since 2014, which took place from 10 to 21 May last year. There was also a significant increase in the use of live ammunition by Israeli security forces in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, and intensification of settler-related violence. These trends contributed to a dramatic rise in the number of Palestinians and Israelis killed and injured. Israeli forces killed 315 Palestinians and injured 17,597 Palestinians, an almost five-fold increase in comparison to previous reporting period when Israeli forces killed 67 Palestinians and injured a further 3,678. Look, previous time was 67 killed, now 315. Injured, previous time 3,678, now 17,597. 14 Israeli were killed, 14, and 824 others were injured by Palestinians in comparison to the previous period, when one Israeli soldier was killed and 90 other Israelis were injured. Excellencies, the 10 to 21 May 2021 hostilities in Gaza resulted in substantial civilian casualties and devastating damage to civilian objects and infrastructure. My office documented several incidents in which Israeli attacks may have violated international humanitarian law principles of distinction, proportionality, and feasible precautions. Excellencies, the human rights situation in the occupied Palestinian territories further, this already I read, this repeat. Now, continue. However, almost 10 months later, we are not aware of any criminal investigation of these incidents, despite information indicating that Israel initiated preliminary examinations into some cases. Any findings regarding possible violations have yet not been made public. Also, we have no information or measures taken by the authorities in West Bank or by the de facto authorities in Gaza to ensure accountability for the indiscriminate firing of rockets toward Israel in breach of international humanitarian law or for other possible violations of such law. Excellencies, in relation to previous outbreaks of hostilities, serious concerns persist over the lack of accountability for actual or potential violations of international humanitarian law, including alleged war crimes perpetrated by all parties in the conflict. We also continue to observe pervasive impunity afforded to members of the Israeli security forces for incidents of possible excessive use of force outside the context of hostilities, frequently resulting in potentially unlawful killings, including, in some cases, possible extrajudicial executions. Over the reporting period, 74 Palestinians were killed by Israeli security forces in law enforcement operations. The vast majority in West Bank, including East Jerusalem. This already after war, 74 killed. Majority of them in West Bank, this Palestinian territory, no Gaza, and also East Jerusalem, which also occupied by apartheid regime of Israel. Despite frequent Israeli announcement on the launching of preliminary, here blah blah, yes, 74 Palestinians. They try downplay these figures. This banker, who banker? Ilham Aliyev and Putin, Hitler Putin. And Ilham Aliyev, in Azerbaijan, in Baku. Who helping Ilham Aliyev? Israel authority by the Mossad. That's true, and you will have this fact too. No matter what they will do, they also listen me. Israel authority, Mossad, they will try to heed these facts. No way. I promise. Despite frequent Israeli announcements on the launching of preliminary examination into such incidents, criminal investigations have not been opened in the vast majority of cases, even not killing, pif paf, Palestinian, pif paf, normal, not even investigation. They are killing, assassinations, killing, even not investigating. As normal, normal. Fascist apartheid regime of Israel. even not been opened investigation in vast majority of cases, and details have not been made public. And also what something have was hidden. Maybe the ongoing investigation. The lack of transparency regarding the opening of investigations and the absence of progress and outcome of investigation by Israeli authorities in a matter of utmost concern. Similarly, there was no notable progress in investigation into allegation of ill treatment and torture of Palestinians in Israeli detention facilities. I call on Israeli authorities to conduct prompt, independent, impartial, thorough, effective, and transparent investigations into all alleged violations and abuses of international human rights law and international humanitarian law, including allegations of international crimes, and to ensure effective remedies to victims. Mr. President, regarding the accountability of Palestinian authorities, I note that the reporting period was marked by increased violence by Palestinian security forces, which may amount to violations of the right to life and physical integrity. Some steps were documented in the investigation and prosecutions of members of Palestinian security forces or of the Gaza de facto authorities, security forces, responsible, responsible for alleged excessive use of force and other human rights violations committed against Palestinians. I also note some steps toward accountability for the killing of Palestinian Authority opponent and Palestinian Legislative Council candidate Nizar Banat, with the trial of 14 suspects ongoing. I call on the Palestinian Authority to strengthen efforts towards accountability. Excellencies, restrictions of freedom of expression, association, and peaceful assembly of those who defend human rights and call for accountability escalated to unprecedented levels. On 19 October 2021, the Israeli Ministry of Defense designated 6 Palestinian human rights and humanitarian organizations as terrorist organizations under Israeli counterterrorism law, and the Israeli military command in the West Bank declared this and one other organizations unlawful. When they acting as terrorists, they call it human rights organization terrorists. These designation decisions were based on vague and unsubstantiated allegations. My office remains unaware of any credible evidence to support these accusations. A number of member states, notably those providing financial support to these organizations, have also questioned the basis for these decisions. After the end of the reporting period, the Israeli military denied a request by human rights organizations to share the evidence justifying their decisions, citing threats to national security. These designations and declarations by Israeli authorities raise serious concerns that counter-terrorism legislations and military orders are being used to halt, restrict, or criminalize legitimate human rights and humanitarian work, including important work on accountability. These measures adding to a series of actions undermining civil society organizations working for the human rights of Palestinians constitute an attack on human rights defenders and seriously inhibit freedoms of assassinations, opinion and expressions, and the right to public participations. I call upon Israel to revoke the designations against Palestinians' human rights and humanitarian organizations and terrorists or unlawful organizations absent sufficient evidentiary basis for them. Excellencies, my office will continue monitoring the situation in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, and call for accountability for alleged violations by all relevant duty bearers. Thank you. This Human Rights High Commissioner Michelle Bachelet report. Based on this report, her speech. And here tweets shortly repeating this speech, taken from this speech, tweets from Lara Friedman. I not read that because repeating, but Lara Friedman doing important job for informing world Twitter users about Israel apartheid regime action. You know, our days, this is my mission doing possible. I say that. My mission from universe unity. My mission doing all that transparency. Despite they using they all opportunity, who rule the world. Huge opportunity. For hid, for remain secret, for downplay this, their crimes, others, but all coming to online transparently. I, together with you, Earth people, doing that, and we will increase that. And in this concrete, based on this fact, we should act. Not give them any chance, downplay, ignore, or obstruct justice, or to cover up. No chance. In Israel, apartheid regime, they committed crimes against humanity. They before our very eyes, using against Palestinians special law as the second kind of human beings, calling them terrorists, occupied their territory. After that, calling them terrorists. Therefore, special laws. And I show you many videos how they beating and killing civilians, beating how severely, no matter women, girl, children, killing, beating. No right, you can't go this way, go their way. Or somebody coming, maybe, piff puff. I think maybe, but they are nothing. And no punishment, no investigation. Stop that, Israel. Stop that. Leave Palestinian territory. This is best for you, Israel authority. And I call Israel people. This is about you. I'm talking actually about you. I try to free you from this fascist apartheid regime of your authority, your political establishment. Evil. And you deserve better, Israel people. Together with me, peace possible. Use that. We will recognize Palestinian state with all their territory and settlements should be stopped immediately. They should leave Palestinian territory and they can be still there. How many? This agreement should be between sovereign Palestinian state and sovereign Israel state. And will, when peace will come, peace is peace. Again, together with me, it is possible. Eastern Jerusalem, this Palestinian territory, but they are Jewish, Palestinian territory, Palestinian state, not will apartheid regime. They can freely, they are alive, Jewish nationality in Eastern Jerusalem, or by agreement in Palestinian territory, Palestinians in Israel territory. Same rights. No dual system. We should start from that. Stop apartheid regime means stop and remove all these laws based on this apartheid regime. Oh, immediately. Immediately. And we should recognize Palestinian sovereign state. And after that, talks which will successful together with me. And this best for Israel people to choose this way. Nothing you have more power than Palestinians. You can occupy, and this will allow it. Because behind you, some groups of political establishment in the United States. Again, I said and saying, no way. And your authority crimes against United States also well known. And these investigations, including on Hitler, Putin, Trump case, also will reveal how Israel authority was participated on the 16 election attack on United States election, on Trump, for help Trump. Our country not will do that. Never. So this is about Israel political establishment, not about Israel people. I each time saying that because my position this. And crime is crime. If they was collaborating with Hitler, Putin on the attack United States on 16 election time, and I believe later too, possibly even in January 6th, coup attempt, some form. But I know about Hitler Putin directly there at Trump on this coup attempt. His money, her spies, I said that several times. And Department of Justice decision expand this investigation. Good, but this investigation should be very fully and very mobile, means not by extension. This is very bad idea. We have fact, use that about United States. Their fact coming online. I already talking about United States and Hitler, Putin, and Trump treasonous conspiracy, continuation of that against United States. And this should be stopped finally. Hitler, Putin, Trump, and co. They should be stopped finally. And for Hitler-Putin war against Ukraine in Europe, I said that previous Chinghiz life. What should be happen? Immediately should be happen. This is very serious thing when you shall stop Hitler-Putin ongoing genocide in Ukraine, Hitler-Putin war, these war criminals, Hitler-Putin crimes in Ukraine. How you can do that? United States and ally, EU, Britain, EU together, and EU members, particularly Germany. How you can planning do that? No blah blah, no blah blah. Exactly, really. How you planning stop this Hitler Putin genocide, war crimes against Ukrainian people in Ukraine? When you continue financing Hitler Putin. There are no excuse, not will allow any argue on this case. I said that previous time and saying again, you have full opportunity immediately stop buying Hitler Putin oil, gas, and coal. You have this opportunity. Germany, EU, they are genocide, they are war. You, civilized world, EU, European Union, Nobel Peace Prize winner. Recall. They are genocide, war crimes. And you financing Hitler Putin. Only 1 month, they are more than approximately $19 billion. From February 24, from start of this intervention, genocide, to April 24, March 24. This figure on previous Chinghiz Live cover photo. The Germany, only Germany, I think. And you very good know, you all very good know, Hitler Putin using this money for this campaign, as he called it, actually for her genocide and war crimes in Ukraine, for occupation Ukraine. You know that. You have opportunity. Replace, stop Russian energy, rejecting by, and you shall, should and shall, and take from other side. The country have, I said, Qatar will help you, maybe Norway and United States, maybe price will some form uh, expensive, but you will count money. If so, who you? If so, who you? Therefore, stop that. Stop that finally. Immediately embargo. This blah blah of Hitler Putin, buy a ruble, no buy a ruble, oh hooray, hooray, stop that. Stop play people's mind. Embargo immediately, Germany. Immediately. And finally. Anonymous tweeting and their photos. And we know Anonymous doing very important job for hacking Hitler Putin and the Putin important spheres, and revealing these facts is very important. They stand with Ukraine fighting Hitler Putin, and we should welcome that. And Anonymous tweeting. Massacres of civilians in Mariupol and throughout Ukraine show the true face of Hitler Putin. Here, Putin's terrorist regime, destined for the denazification of Ukraine, is acting by committing genocide on the civilian population, not sparing even innocent children. The cyber war started by Anonymous will not stop until Vladimir Putin permanently withdraws from Ukraine. The world needs to officially recognize Vladimir Putin for what he really is, an international criminal. World, around the world, is should be happy. And here photos, the children in hospital who survived, but many killing. And there are many videos. Here, even some photos I have. Fact of genocide. Civilians, you know, in Bucha. Ashera tweeting, 18 plus, because photos. Bucha, this city in Ukraine, Kiev suburb. Here, civilians with handcuff on back, and was assassinated, executed. This photo. One with handcuff, others different. Fact of genocide is civilians, Ukrainians. And anonymous tweeting saying almost 500 companies have withdrawn from Russia, but some remain. Who are the companies that remain? Start tagging them. Yes, it's a group activity. Let's get their attention and make them know we are coming for them. Anonymous warning these companies. And I will set several names here. Define demands for exit or reduction of activities, 38 companies that are just continuing business as usual in Russia. Several of them I here will specially said. One of them, Glencore. Glencore, very corrupt organization, mine organization. Also reviewing Russian they're holding, Glencore holding significant Russian equity stakes in Rosneft and others. In Rosneft case, this linked to Hitler, Putin, Trump in 2016 election. Putin sell, I think, 20% of Rosneft in December 2016, when Trump already was illegitimate president 1 month before this date. And Putin suddenly sell Rosneft, 20% stake. And buyers was Qatar, their organization, and Glencore. And I said, and saying again, this part of this money, 20%, go to Trump. Hitler, Putin to Trump. Even today, possible this working. Because who investigated? Who stopped them? I said that after they stopped it, Maybe do some corruption maneuver, yes. Investigate that. That's line of Hitler Putin by money laundering, how financing Trump, including her, his coup attempt in January 6th. Possible their Glencore too, means the stake. How Putin was behind this January 6th. This forum. Two. And about one other very important, I said that thing again. You remember Deutsche Bank said important part of docks was crashed. My English, but you understand. Bank officially say important part of docks which can't be crashed. It's crime. Not already, not longer exists, crashed. I said this directly Hitler, Putin, and Trump job. Deutsche Bank, who? Again, Germany. Who truly investigated that? Same Trump did when he was in White House. Crash dogs, recordings, even phone call gaps there, 7 hours. In January 6 too, their diary gap there. Archive, he take all archive to home. Idiot, moron. But they, I think they are, and I believe in that they are already should be investigation because they are not, some documents already no longer exist too. Why he doing that? Because they did, say, Department of Justice, Mary Garland, FBI Ray, directly President Joe Biden, no, Congress, CIA, this not some accident, as world gang, okay, gang. They are coming, investigation, Deutsche Bank, crack, yes, crack, gang. Rosneft, Glencore, Rosneft is linked to from Putin to Trump. And others, their crimes. They attack on my internet now when I said about that. Their warnings. Okay, this and how we know how today continue helping Hitler Putin. There should be secondary sanctions. There should be sanctioned countries who helping Putin. Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, United Arab Emirates mainly, very actively, Turkey too, and other countries also, India, for example, avoiding sanctions. Their sanctions should be fully. Okay? What means? Embargo of Russian energy sector, oil, gas, and coal. fully SWIFT ban, fully. And all Putin oligarchs should be under sanctions. Arrest, assets, and visa ban. And include additional secondary sanctions for block any chance from Hitler Putin avoid these sanctions. It's so obvious, and you shall do that if you're talking about sanctions for stop Hitler Putin, her genocide in Ukraine, or war and war crimes. You should launch sanctions and implement that and cut any chance of Hitler Putin avoid the sanctions. Now look about Africa. But first I want to read these names of the 38 firms. These 38 companies should immediately leave Russia. Alberts, ASA, EA Serbia, Alibaba, Alien Technology, ASAS, Auchan Retail, Sersanit, Checkpoint Software, Cloudflare, Didi, doTERRA, Egon Gende, Emirates Airlines, Eutelsat, FM Global, Glencore, Chroma, Huawei, Inca, Institute of Internal Auditors, Intermedia, International Paper, Koch Industries, Koch Brothers. Listen. Koch brothers very actively part of this conspiracy against the United States in 2016, later and now sided with Hitler, Putin. It's all Koch brothers. Also in Brexit referendum, Hitler, Putin, they are Trump associate, Bannon, they are Mercers, they are Cambridge Analytica, they are Facebook of Zuckerberg, they are Koch brothers, proud Brexit, and look what they're doing. Koch Industries, Korn Ferry, Kronospan, Lenovo, shameful Lenovo. My new notebook is Lenovo. I buy in, yes, November 2020. I'm not saying the Lenovo, I think this normal company, but actually seems that not. Problem is morality. Leroy Merlin, Manitowoc, Metro, Mo Group, MSI, Raiffeisen Bank International, Societe Generale, Tencent, Titan International, and Turkish Airlines and Xiaomi. Okay, and there are other companies 69 companies who postponing future investment, but still there. This 69 companies also immediately should leave Russia immediately. I say. And here, very important fact. Listen about Hitler Putin in Africa. Marcene Hunter, latest GI talk, this profile, West Africa risk bulletin includes an article examining Russia presence in the West Africa and Central African Republic, gold sector, and opportunities for generating funds or gold laundering to evade sanctions. West Africa Risk Bulletin number 3. Here shortly I will read. This global initiative, this profile means global initiative against transnational organized crime. Global initiative against transnational organized crime. Observatory of illicit economies in West Bank. And I'm reading. This issue of the risk bulletin of illicit economies in West Africa examines Russia's presence in the gold mining sector in West Africa, the recent resurgence of violence in Jos, Nigeria, the historical and contemporary context of the intervening of the political and military elite and the cocaine trade in Guinea-Bissau. Finally, we explore the findings of the 2021 Organized Crime Index, which provide a statistical framework for understanding the strong but complex relationship between instability and illicit markets in West Africa. First, re-examining Russia's presence in West Africa's gold sector. Given their increasing presence in the gold sector across West Africa, it is likely that Russia will seek to use gold as a means of generating funds, moving money international, and accessing foreign currencies. About gold, how Putin already owned this West Africa gold, and I think Britain Prime Minister Johnson said something about sanctions Russian gold. Same time, Putin will avoid that. He have gold mines. Secondary sanctions, crucial. I say. Second, violence surges as criminal networks spread to new territories amid economic downturn in Jos, Nigeria. The central Nigerian city of Jos and its surrounding areas have been experiencing a resurgence of violence since 2021. A spike in criminal activity in Jos, partly attributable to increases in unemployment and economic hardship, is one key driver behind this explosion in violence. These fatal incidents linked to illicit markets, including cattle rustling, arms and drug trafficking, and kidnapping for ransom, doubling between 2020 and 2021. Third, a reported coup attempt brings to the fore how for how cocaine trafficking continues to shape Guinea-Bissau politics. In the wake of an attack on Guinea-Bissau's governmental palace in February, labeling a coup attempt by the Bissau Guinean government, we track the checkered history of the alleged mastermind, Bubo Nakchuto, to explore the evolving role of the cocaine trade in Guinea-Bissau's volatile politics. 4. The Organized Crime Index Africa 2021 underscores differing relationship between certain illicit markets and instability. The result of the Organized Crime Index Africa 2021 underscored the strong but complex relationship between instability and illicit markets in West Africa. Okay? Secondary sanctions, crucial. Do that. United States, Britain, EU, fully. There should be blacklist and this country should be sanctioned. United Arab Emirates, very active. These African countries, very Putin. And don't forget about Ilham Aliyev. Same, plus me, same business in Africa. Now laundering gold, oil, of course, cocaine. No forgot about Ilham Aliyev. I know that I'm saying you. Ilham Aliyev helping Hitler, Putin already said. Terrorist group from Syria, Iraq, by Putin order, Hitler, Putin, and more than 20 tanks to Putin for Ukraine, means for war in Ukraine. It's also Ilham Aliyev. And there are others crimes. And all that was happening, I in previous Chinghiz live said, because existing current financial system of world, very corrupt and dark. And Hitler, Putin, enablers remain actively use this financial system, including for helping Hitler, Putin as he come to this level of war criminal. Hitler, Putin own. You remember I said you about Afghanistan case. From where Hitler, Putin taking money, not only from her oil, gas, coal, or Russian other resources, natural resources. This very, but also from narco. There are 100 billions. And in Afghanistan case, I said when the United States troops already was there in decade, okay? More than even. Putin already more part of this cocaine market, heroin market, was controlled, other name owned by Putin, Hitler Putin, by schemes. And they are American troops, generals as Flynn, Lieutenant General, and other generals, they are Afghanistan world leader of heroin, more than 90% by schemes. And at Hitler Putin, Ilham Aliyev using same how they using this narco traffic, narco business. Very important for them. When you targeted sanctions them, not forget, use cut the ability, use this narco traffic, narco business for avoid sanctions. Also about cryptocurrency. These spheres where they easily will use for avoid sanctions. Narco traffic, narco business, and cryptocurrency. Stop that. This is about when Afghanistan, about Hitler Putin, very important part of his money, his authority, her money, her authority money, this narco. When United States leave Afghanistan, Putin finally take control. Now, truly and literally, Hitler Putin, narco baron, narco leader of world. That's true. And I call America, Britain, EU, take this fact very seriously and stop Hitler Putin. And don't forget about Ilham Aliyev. Ilham Aliyev creating Azerbaijan and released, freed, liberated territories, in Fizuli, in Zangilan region. Hub, narco hub. I know that exactly. I said that previously and saying that again. Their airport is created for that. So this narco. And who help him? Money who doing? Of course, banks. About Deutsche Bank, who should be already under full investigation. No excuse, any excuse for Deutsche Bank and others too. But Deutsche Bank were coming online very was big player on Putin Trump attack on America for take White House. And their previous Supreme Court Justice Kennedy, I think, name, maybe not correct. His son was Deutsche Bank, and he was in this sphere position where actually this money laundering from Hitler Putin to Trump happened. Okay? Where investigation, FBI, Department of Justice. And now another Supreme Court, his wife participated in this coup attempt. About Supreme Court, I call talking. How they everywhere. How this was possible? Because I say you why, how this can possible. United States of America. This start happening very actively when you refuse to really investigate John Kennedy and his brother Robert Kennedy assassinations, including Martin Luther King. You refuse to really investigate 9/11. Also, they are not real investigation on 28 financial blockbuster. Therefore, what's happening in 2016, Putin, Hitler Putin, asset fully belonging to Hitler Putin, come to President of the United States. And your Supreme Court corrupted. Therefore happened. Therefore, January 6, this coup attempt, fully investigation and real, and now stop that extent method game, ongoing investigations. Stop that. And also, again, start investigation because 21st century opportunity by high techs and other opportunity, they have artificial intelligence also. John Kennedy assassinations, his brother, Martin Luther King, including 9/11, crucial for you, to your national security system, United States, and to all world. This is crucial to the investigations. Start to that. 2016 should be their true investigation. Not yet. Frame it merely can't do his job. Not was allowed. And now quit him, January 6. What was between during these 4 years, this Putin puppet in White House, between them? Very needed investigation. And this should be part of this because directly link it. You think these recordings, Trump herself card crack, phone recordings, diary recording, others they have. This translator was there, my English translator who was participating in Trump Putin talks, also was cracked. His many phone calls to Putin also crack it, or he did crack it. Who did that? Trump himself. True, but I say you that take this fact seriously. Ivanka, Kushner, Donald Jr., and other his son. Gang. No family. Gang. And fully belong to Hitler Putin. And nowadays, before your eyes, again, conspiracy, If you think this exprompt was from Trump in TV interview, no, this already agreed. Their back channels, working. Their Prince, their Kushner remain back channels between Putin and Trump. Today, remain even today active. They decided counter-attack. Yes, he said Putin will, blah, blah, reveal some. Trump will use. Now against Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, and other things. Conspiracy is conspiracy. Election coming, midterm coming. Again, same tactic using, despite Hitler, Putin doing genocide in Ukraine, despite all that as nothing. This Trump and family and circle, Manafort, Flynn, Stone, Bannon, Giuliani, their name known. And Trump office, Meadows, this Navarro. Supreme Court Justice wife. Supreme Court Justice son in Deutsche Bank. Do your job, America. This first for you, so crucial and important. I say, I together with you, but do your job. I say, now about these banks, evil, satanic financial system who rule the world, and this bank instrument, very crucial instrument for this financial system. And what they're doing in case which will kill you as humanity. Already, climate crisis, real will kill you. I saying you that repeatedly. Universe unity saying this to you repeatedly. Climate crisis will kill you. Global genocide. Who participated on this global genocide? Rothschild and Co., who own world financial system, and these banks link it to Rothschild and Co., to this financial system. Now listen to these figures. When we in emergency, climate emergency, climate crisis killer. What they doing? Go green tweeting. World banks are funding the death of our Earth as a livable planet to the tune of trillions. World's top 60 banks poured it. $4.6 trillion. $4.6 trillion into fossil fuels since 2016. 5 years. Trillions. Put this on your placards, Greta Thunberg, tweeting "Go Green." These devastating facts. Their figures, which bank, how many, how this increasing annually. $4.6 trillion. This graphic show totally this figure. And Greta Thunberg. I've invited over 100 leading voices from around the world, scientists, experts, activists, and authors to create a book that covers the climate and ecological crisis from a holistic perspective. The climate book will be released in October. Very important initiative of Greta. I welcome this initiative. I read this list of these 100 leading voices in climate crisis, climate case. Very important figures there. Very important, very needed, additional. This book where we figures truth, what's happening to planet Earth and why happening. There should be, because evil, satanic financial system, the system doing that. I say. Okay, today this Earth people. I am Chinghiz together with you.